Today I'm taking one of the fastest cars in BeamNG and sending it flat out around a track. I'm going to set a lap time, and then I'm going to grab the worst, the slowest, and probably the most embarrassing car in the game. I'm going to mod it into a monster and try and beat that lap time. Will it work? Probably not, but I'm going to try anyway. So the car in question we're going to be taking is this car right here, the GTS Corsa. Now we're going to be doing it on the automation track right here. I only have 3 lap times to set a lap time that I'm happy with, and then we have to try and beat it. So we're going to be doing the racetrack circuit challenge, and we're going to try and set the best lap time possible. Let's start trying to set our lap times. Okay, here we go, and we're off on the first lap. I think I'm going to do it in first person. I'm going to try and do it in manual too. We're going to do the most difficult thing possible. I literally have no idea what this track is. I'm literally just going off of feel right now, and I am not a good driver as it is. So I think I'm going to try and do this first lap as fast as I can, but also take it as an opportunity to learn the track. And then I guess the second and third lap is going to be our final opportunities to actually put in a decent lap time. Okay, so approaching the final corner here, and I've completely messed it up, and we're going on to our second lap. I don't think this is going to be a lap time to beat even the other lap that I've done. Here we go. We've just finished the lap, 2 minutes and 8 seconds. That's not the best. Being like the top 90%. It'll probably be like a 1 minute and 50 seconds, and I don't think we're going to get there. We got another 2 laps to try and get the fastest lap in. Okay, and we're off on our second lap. I had a really slow start. I just completely forgot that we didn't just get launched off the line automatically, and I've already messed up the first corner. But I'm going to try and lock in, and we're going to try and send it on this lap. Yeah, and I completely messed this lap up. This is not going well. I don't know what I'm doing. The only advantage we're going to have in the other car is that I guess I already know the track a little bit. Even then, I don't think it's going to make a difference. I don't think I can even recover this lap. I've messed it up too much just by going off on like the third corner on this track. We're approaching the end of this lap, and this lap is even slower than the last. This one's a 2 minute and 9 or 10 second one. We've got one more lap to put something decent together. Okay, approaching again. This is the last lap, final corner. That was a bit of a getter corner in the last ones. I think this might be our best lap going. Still not even as quick as the 1 lap time I set. That was a 2 minute and 5 second. I don't even think that was better than the first one that we did. So the lap time we've got to beat is a 2 minute, 5 second, 0.749. And introducing the car that we're gonna beat the race car with around the track. This is probably one of the worst cars in BeamNG. Now granted, I probably could have gone a bit older, which would have been slower, but I wanted it to be realistic and have a slightly relatively modern car with some sort of assists and things like that. So this is what we're going for, and we're going to set a base lap time, see how close we can get already to the supercar, and then we're going to modify it to our best of our ability. I'm going to try and beat that supercar lap time. Honestly, at this point, I don't think it's possible, but here we go. Okay, and we're off in the car, going first person. This is already so much slower. I don't even know what's going on. It feels like I'm driving, I don't even know, like a wheelchair around the track with an engine attached to the back of it. It's so much slower, but it's actually easier in a way because I can just chuck it around bends. So who knows? Maybe we might set a faster lap time to begin with, but judging by the fact that we're already 30 seconds in to the lap time, I don't think that's happening anytime soon, but we can just absolutely send it around these corners like this, and I guess just ram it into thing. We've got no ABS either, so we're gonna have to like pump our brakes. Oh, we're gonna damage the engine here. We're absolutely revving the daylights out of it. This is gonna be difficult. Okay, so here we are. We're approaching the final corner on our base lap for the crap car. We're gonna chuck it in. Much better cornering than we've ever had before because this car is just so slow. It's so much easier. And it looks like we're going to get a just over or maybe exactly 3 minute lap time here. So honestly, it's not as slow as I thought. It means we have about a minute to shave off. A 3 minute and 1 second, 0.369 lap time. I think it's relatively achievable if we just modify the hell out of this car, and then we'll try again. Okay, so here we go. Now is the fun part. We got to launch into the vehicle config and try our best to strip as much weight as possible from this car. Anything I can do, I'm going to do. We're going to get this car faster than that supercar. Okay, so here is the final product. I went through and I stripped off literally as much as I could. So we've got no doors, we've literally got nothing. I guess I've kept the essentials, like I've kept the front windscreen because we don't want to get battered by flies and things like that. But I've removed pretty much everything that we can do. I've lowered the suspension, I've put race suspension on, we've got some intakes, carbon ones for the headlights instead. We've got a race radiator, we've got a bunch of race suspension, and we've engine swapped the car. And you can already tell it's a lot quicker than before, but the one thing I'm not sure about is the gearbox. Okay, so as I talked about the gearbox, I realized I completely forgot to do engine tuning. So I've done that now. We've got a turbo, we've got an intercooler, we've got literally everything we need to beat that supercar. Now, interior mods, you might say, why haven't we got race seats? But honestly, I don't think that's going to make a difference. I guess now we've got to launch into the challenge. They've got 3 laps to try and beat the supercar lap time. The lap time we have to beat is on screen right now. Let's try and do it. Okay, here we go. We're off the line in the car, and the gearing is so messed up. It's like the engine cannot keep up with the gearbox, or the gearbox cannot keep up with the engine. So I don't know how this is going to go, but you can absolutely see the smoke in the rearview mirror. I think maybe we should have messed around with the gearing ratio, although I have no idea what that is, because this is almost impossible to control. We're just wheel spinning in every gear. And 6th gear is really long, or 5th gear is really, really long. But we're definitely quicker. We're definitely quicker. Let's lock in and try and beat this lap time. Okay, we've tapped the wall there. It was almost impossible to avoid that. The car just cannot turn in time. Even though we've got the quick ratio race steering, it just cannot seem to turn in with the speed. I really wish that I tuned this gearbox. Maybe we might give it another attempt, because this is impossible. Okay, so I've gone through and I've made some further changes to the car. We've only got another 2 lap times to try and beat the supercar. I've added some race alloys, some race tires, some race brakes, and I've messed around a bit with the final driving gearing, although it doesn't really seem to make much difference. I've changed the RPM rev limit, which is probably going to explode the engine, but it might help with those revs, I think. I have no idea. And then I've also changed the wastegate, something to do with the turbo. Again, I have no idea. I guess we go again. We've got 2 more laps to try and beat this supercar. And we're away on the first lap. We've still got this absolutely awful gearing. It's so difficult to control and to predict when you need to change down gear. But it's a really weird car to drive. Like, this gearing is almost impossible, but we couldn't even get any longer gearing. We've pretty much gone for the max gearbox we could get in terms of gears, but it does seem to be able to turn in a little bit better. Now we're on these race tires and the brakes are 100% better, but it's when we're going at high speeds and we've got to try and turn in, I think that's where we're going to struggle on that straight, so maybe we've just got to take it a bit slower. Okay, so it's definitely handling a lot better now we've got these different tires on and different alloys. So we've actually managed to make it around that bend here, but this one's a really difficult one, and I'm trying not to blow up the engine by shifting down so much. But this one's a pretty difficult corner to manage, especially in this car here. But I think we might be able to do it. You know, this lap time is pretty quick so far. Okay, and we're approaching the straight here, the final straight. And honestly, we've almost cut off the amount of time that we need to. We're really close. We did a 2 minute and 13 second. We've almost cut off an entire minute of our lap time. Now we only need another roughly 10 seconds to cut off, a bit less, in order to be faster than that supercar. I might try and make a few more changes to this car before we head out on the final lap, and then we've got to do it. Okay, so I've gone through and I've made even more changes to the car. I've completely stripped out the interior. I know I said earlier that I don't think we needed to do that, but honestly at this point I think we need anything we can get. So I've stripped out the interior, I've changed the bonnet to a lighter fiberglass one, and I've pretty much removed everything else possible, like the rear seats. We've got a race interior with a race pedal box, race steering wheel. We've got a race shifter now with some sort of race handbrake too. This is the best bet we've got. We've got a shift light. We're going all in. The final lap. Let's try. And we're off on the final lap of this video. Let's lock in and try and beat this supercar. It's already feeling much better. It feels quicker. I think we got it. We got it. Okay, that was a much better exit on that corner, and we've already got the speed up, but this is where this car really struggles, is to keep the speed, because we bounce off the 6th gear because we're going too quick. Slow down on this corner so we can actually turn in, because in 6th gear it doesn't seem to have much turn, although we managed really well on that corner. So maybe we could have gone flatter out, but it doesn't matter now. This is the final lap. Let's try and get this corner. This one's a difficult one. Really understeering here. Okay, and that was a good exit. That was a good exit. It could have been worse. This is a difficult corner here. You've got to get this one right, otherwise you completely mess up the straight coming up, and I've messed it up. That could have been much better, but let's try and get a good speed on this corner here. This is a long corner, which is not good for this car. Okay, this is like one of the last times we've got good speed going here, because then we're approaching the final corner. Downshift, try and steer in. The understeer is really killing us here. It just torques gears way too much. Final corner here. This is where it all matters. And we're on the last straight. Final straight. We're going for it. We're going for it. And cross the line. I don't think that was enough. 2 minute, 8 second, 0.662. We were so close to beating the lap time.